Hey, this is Dan with Better Thinking, Better Living, and I would like for you to take a look at something if you don't mind. And if you do mind, well, it's too bad, it's my show. Right here on my right arm, you'll see two scars from an incision, two incisions that were made during surgery to reattach my bicep tendon to the bone and to the bicep muscle. They became separated and had to be surgically reattached. Now, as impressive as those scars are, I wish that I had an impressive story to tell as to how I got those scars, because it's not really that exciting of a story. I wish I could say that I was saving a child from a burning building, or going in and fighting off terrorists, or stopping a carjacking, or something of heroic significance, but that's not the case. The case is, I did something rather simple, and the story that I want to use today, I want to use it to illustrate the power of our perceptions, and namely what the power of fear can cause us to do, or what it results in. I was working for a particular company, and one morning I came in and the owner was started in about the trash receptacle in the hallway near where the technicians check in and check out was overflowing, and that it needed attention. Well, the guy that normally took care of that was off that day because he worked directly for the owner, and the owner had given him the day off, so I guess they just thought the can was going to magically empty itself. Well, it wasn't my job, but in an attempt to quiet the situation and make the loud noise just go away, I determined that I was going to go ahead and take the trash receptacle outside to the dumpster and dump it. Not normally my job, but I would step up to the plate and do it. So I leave my office, I go into the hallway, I grab the little hand truck that the receptacle sat on, I wheeled it out to the dumpster, and I was getting ready to lift it up. I had thrown the lid of the dumpster back, and I was grabbed the can from the top and the bottom, and I was lifting it up, hoisting it over my shoulder, over the edge of the dumpster, when suddenly a thought struck me. See, this same owner that was having problems with the overflowing trash can also liked to do little things to teach raccoons a lesson. See, where we are in rural in the east coast of Florida here, we have urban sprawl, and the company was backed up against the wetlands of the St. Johns River, so we have a lot of wildlife that comes into this industrialized area, scavenging food, namely raccoons. And raccoons had frequently gotten into the dumpster and had strewn trash everywhere and rummaging to find something to eat. The problem is, a lot of times they could get into the dumpster, but they couldn't get out. So in an attempt to teach these raccoons a lesson, he would oftentimes leave them in there for a day to let them get good and dehydrated, then let them out so they wouldn't come back. And this works for 3 or 4 months, and then the raccoons eventually come back. Well, I'm lifting up this trash can to dump it into the dumpster, and that thought struck my mind that there may be a live raccoon in there. Now, the image that I had in my mind, I don't know if you've seen the movie Elf, where the main character there is leaving the North Pole, and he's coming into New York, and he finds a raccoon in the park, and this raccoon just attacks him and jumps on his face. Well, that's the image that I had in my mind, that I was going to throw this trash over the edge of the dumpster. The raccoon was going to come out and just grab me by the face and commence to attack me, just the innocent bystander doing my job. So when I heaved this can up over my head, I decided I was going to twist it to deflect any flying raccoons that may be coming my way. So when I did that, in that jerking motion, I felt a snap and a burn in my arm, and balled up was my bicep tendon. Was there a raccoon in the dumpster? No. But there was fear in my head that there was. And that fear caused me to react and behave in a particular way that I normally wouldn't, and hence it affected me physically. I was not able to return to work, and had to have surgery, quite extensive surgery, months of rehabilitation, and recuperating, getting the strength back in that because of something I perceived in my head. You see, most fear is only in our heads. Now, we can have a good respect for something, but when we are terrified of something and allow that terror to strike panic in our hearts, it affects us in a bad way. How many people out there today are not living their dreams, are not fulfilling their destiny, are not doing what they feel in their heart to do because of perceived fear? See, that raccoon was perceived fear. It really wasn't there, but in my mind it was. And there are people out there today that are not fulfilling their destiny because of perceived fear. They're not chasing down their dreams. They're not fulfilling their God-given talents because of perceived fear. Fear of failure, fear that that their life is not good enough, fear of whatever. Just perceived fear, any type of fear that holds them back and holds them down. So, the key that I want to stress today is, do not make yourself a slave of fear. I mean, what was the worst thing that can happen? I mean, a raccoon jump out in your face? What's the worst thing that can happen if you started pursuing your dream today? What's the worst thing that could possibly happen if you made one step toward your destiny, toward your goal, toward the desire of your heart? What is the worst that could possibly happen? And when you start thinking of things in these terms, you see how minute the fear that holds you back really is. Fear can cripple your life. Work on ways to eradicate the fear from you, or you might end up with scars on your arm and a story that you're too embarrassed to share with people. This is Dan with Better Thinking, Better Living, and you have a great day.